From the 15th of June 2020, it's law that you must wear a face covering when travelling in England on a bus or a coach, train or tram, ferry, hovercraft or other vessel, an aircraft or in a cable car. If you do not wear a face covering, you'll be breaking the law and could be fined £100 or £50 if you pay the fine within 14 days. A face covering is a covering of any type which covers your nose and mouth. It does not have to be a commercial face mask. Face coverings are not applicable for all ages, and they should not be worn by children under 3 and people who would find them wearing them difficult, such as those with existing breathing difficulties. You should also wear a face covering when you go to a hospital appointment or visit someone in hospital. If you can, also wear a face covering in other places where it's hard to stay away from people, such as shops. Some people do not have to wear face coverings for health, age or equality reasons. Some transport staff may not wear a face covering if it's not required for their job. You should also wear a face covering in other enclosed spaces where it's difficult to maintain social distancing. For example, at stations, interchanges, ports and airports, and in taxis and private hire vehicles. A taxi driver or private hire vehicle operator may be entitled to refuse to accept you if you do not wear a face covering. The rule applies in situations where individuals from different households or support bubbles could be travelling together on a service, such as a charter boat, but not if you're giving a lift to someone from another household or support bubble in your private car. Face coverings are not a substitute for maintaining social distancing and good hand hygiene. The law requiring you to wear a face covering on public transport applies when you're in England. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland have different rules and laws. If travelling from any other UK nation, you will be required to wear a face covering when you enter England, regardless of the rules in the nation that you're transiting from. You should remove your face covering if asked to do so by a police officer or other relevant person. It is important to wash or sanitize your hands before and after touching your face covering. For longer journeys, take more than one face covering and a plastic bag for used face coverings. You do not need to wear a face covering if you have a legitimate reason not to do so. This includes not being able to put one on, wear or remove a face covering because of a physical or mental illness or impairment or disability. If putting on or wearing or removing a face covering will cause you severe distress. If you're travelling with or providing assistance for someone who relies on lip reading to communicate. To avoid harm or injury or the risk of harm or injury to yourself or others. To avoid injury or to escape the risk of harm if you do not have a face covering with you. To eat or drink, but only if you need to take medication, and finally, if a police officer or other official requests you to remove your face covering.